at it. This is Kicking Out at 2. I am Michael. With me, as always, is Tori. Hey, Tori.
Hello.
Coming to us from the Enterprise.
I'm just looking for Chris Stadlander.
Someone needs to find her.
Right? This division needs it.
Speaking of that division, we're going to talk about Rampage today. Decent show overall. We got a lot of cool little things. We got Jade teaming up with Leila Grey. We had Jungle Boy
Against
versus
Jobbers.
Ethan Page.
That was a good Ethan Page. Again, why is Jade having this match on TV? Why is it not on Dark or Elevation?
I don't know.
If you're not going to put him there with real competition, stop putting him on TV.
Yep. I'm just surprised she's been in the company so long. We're only at 49. We got Brian Cage going against Willie Mack. Willie Mack's sighting was kind of nice.
And that was a damn good match too.
Yeah. Best one I think I've seen Brian Cage in, because I'm not a big fan of his, but I think they meshed pretty well together. And then you got Daniel Garcia facing Action Andretti with Jericho on commentary,
which was hilarious.
It was. We started the night with Ethan Page versus Jungle Jack Perry, though. Fun little thing to start. First of all, apparently Ethan gets a jobber entrance because he's just there in the ring.
He was already in the ring.
Which now I feel bad for the man. And
his entrance isn't anything special.
It's not, but still, you gave him the local jobber entrance. That's not right.
It's Jungle Boy though, and everybody loves Jungle Boy. Everybody loves that kid.
Just saying, I think the twins later on that faced Jade
they got a jobber entrance too.
They got jobber entrance, but I think they had more fanfare in the introduction because they're just like, and Ethan Page is in the ring. It just moved on. But the other kind of fun thing is with Jericho on commentary, he always throws like little barbs in, and him saying, "I hate when people come out and they sing their entrance music. I hate that stuff."
Look, Chris Jericho is easily one of the GOATs. I just, bar none, I don't care what the topic is, Jericho is on Rushmore.
Yeah, absolutely.
To do everything he's done, and as I've said before, he got a damn clipboard over.
Mm-hmm.
A clipboard with a piece of paper. He got that over.
He
got that more over than Hogan. He got that more over. You know what? I'm just going to stop.
I'm pretty sure the clipboard had more moves.
It also had a better relate. Never mind. Nope.
Nope. We can talk about Hogan at the end of our SmackDown thing, because he's showing up on Raw. So Stokely, Private Party, and Matt Hardy were all ringside for this.
It's just one of Private Party because the other one's out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mark Quinn is out. It's Isaiah Cassidy.
That's right. So fun little things that happened with them. I mean, that seemed to be what most of this match was about, was the storyline with him and Matt Hardy and Private Party.
Was about it had nothing to do with Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Literally this match had nothing to do with Jungle Boy.
So Jungle Boy went to do a plancha outside the ring. Ethan pulled the one half of Private Party into it, so he got landed on. Of course, Matt Hardy's looking at him like, "What the hell, man? Why'd you pull him in there?" And then they're arguing back and forth. Jungle Boy does another one and then hits Ethan Page. Nice little touches there. You had Stokely grabbing the ankle of Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy turns around. Of course, Stokely's blaming it on Matt Hardy. And then how we ended the night, we had a pin attempt by Page, who was using Hardy's ponytail as leverage. Hardy, not being able to see who's behind him, slaps away the hand, which then turns into Perry getting the pin on him. They have a nice little back and forth after the match. And that's all Matt Hardy's saying. It's like, I didn't know it was you. Someone's just grabbing my hair. I didn't know who it was. So, nice little things there. It was just a fun match. Good thing to start off a Rampage. There was an interesting look on Hardy's face when him and Ethan hugged. So, I like how they're playing this a little bit.
I'm not sure how they're going to, because the whole thing is Ethan owns his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how this is gonna work out or what's gonna happen, or I don't know where they're going with this.
I don't either. So it makes me happy because this is one of those situations I don't know where we're going. So we'll see it. I do want to call out though. There's that combo that Paige did where he had like the cross arm flipped Perry off the top rope and then lifted him up into a power slam. That was a damn good move.
Yeah. Hmm.
This
Yeah,
other
no.
what?
The match was just really enjoyable. The whole, like you said, the everything with Ethan was way more about that than it was Jungle Boy.
Oh, and I almost forgot my favorite thing in that match. So Jungle Boy chops Ethan, then Ethan chops the hell out of Jungle Boy, and then turns to the camera and goes, "You want to slap tits? I'll slap tits." Which is a reference for anybody that doesn't know. He calls himself the tightest tits in the game.
He
So
does not.
he does.
I quit.
So nice little
I
reference
have
there.
never heard that, and we could never do that. Wow.
I mean, he's got some pretty tight tits.
Nope, just leave it alone. Mm.
That leads us to Brian Cage and Willie Mack. Like you said, pretty good match. Like a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Because, like I said,
Willie Mack is an impressive big dude.
he is. I will say though, in my opinion, it started off a little slow and clunky.
It did.
I don't know if they were just like getting back used to each other because they did some stuff in Lucha, they did some stuff in PWG. So
Yeah,
maybe it was just them feeling each other back out. Um,
yeah, and when you haven't been in the ring together for a while, that's you're gonna have those kind of not smooth. I mean, even Becky and Bailey, who have been best friends forever, have moments where it just doesn't look good.
right. After Max survived a couple of big moves, unfortunately, Cage did actually end up finishing him off with his version of the Falcon Arrow. The name of it escapes me at the moment. He calls it something.
It's an
Um,
interesting name. I don't remember what it was.
but these guys also had uh, a match on Dark apparently too, where Willie also took him to the limit. So
Yes, he did. Um, they had him because I watched that match.
mhm.
It was a lot like this one. I mean, they back and forth, and there were a couple times I thought Willie Mack was going to win it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised because it's one of those things. Like the only reason I don't think he could have lost is because we have the challenge of him and Brian Danielson next week.
Right.
So him losing would have looked bad. But, is what it is. I will say though, like just some of the stuff these guys were doing, neither one of these guys have any right to be as nimble as they are.
No.
They're
No.
both doing kip ups. They're both doing like moonsaults just from a standing position.
Yeah.
Like absolutely crazy.
Yes.
Um,
100%. And Willie Mack, I think, is a good addition to the roster. At the same time, stop adding people if you're not using who you have, because Miro is still sitting at home.
exactly.
Like, why are we not having Miro Brian Cage? Because I'm here for that match.
Well, at the same token, why are we not having Miro versus Brian Danielson? Bring him in to do it and say, I
I
want you to break his back.
That'd be a good one. Be a good way to put him back in too. And when he doesn't, have MJF blame him.
Mm-hmm.
You start a separate little program. Real easy to do.
And then we have Jade Cargill and Leila Grey versus the Vanity Sisters. So another set of twins. They're just finding twins everywhere. I don't.
Like, where do you find all these people?
Twins wrestlers are us. Um. So the basic idea is Cargill let um, um, Layla, excuse me, blank there for a second. Let Layla in on the match first. Did a lot of the work, and then Cargill came in and cleaned up. Um, I mean, it went
She
about as
started to pin her, and Jade called her off, and Layla acted like it was fine. I'm like, Red Velvet would have given her the finger.
mm-hmm. Um, I mean, it went about as well as we thought it would. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure there was no question at all that the Vanity Sisters were not going to pick up the win today.
No,
Um,
I was not concerned in the slightest about that being Jade's first loss.
I will say
It would have been funny, but
I don't know if it was Jada or Jordan that was in there. I got kind of confused back and forth a couple of times, and so did commentary because they were asking a couple of times which one's in there.
yeah,
But the one that got hit with the glam slam, the Jaded,
yeah,
great facials. Like she's just very expressive. So
yes,
I definitely
and
think they should get some more TV time because they're
yeah,
entertaining.
definitely, definitely. Well, and the other set of twins that I can't think of their names. The same thing. They understand the performance, facial features, behaviors, the little things that make a match more entertaining.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely it's the entertaining. The moves help, but if you don't sell the move, if you don't have the right attitude, the right look while you're doing it, it's not going to get that far over.
Right.
Um, then we get the main event of the night: Daniel Garcia versus Action Andretti.
It's a
Uh,
really good match.
damn good match. Both these guys are
Andretti,
really good.
this kid's talented. This
Uh,
Andretti kid is talented.
my favorite thing is we had Daniel coming out in leather pants because Sammy had gotten him those for a gift and said you needed new gear for this match.
Putting Sammy on commentary too.
Yeah, we got Sammy on commentary. The point of this match was that if Garcia wins, then it's Garcia and Jericho in the tag match, not Sammy and Jericho, which means that we are going to get
Play
Sammy.
sex cards,
We're going to get, yeah, less X gods.
which
Because
is
Garcia
stupid.
unfortunately did lose. Um, given that he was
No,
wearing leather pants, this match actually was kind of funny just because
it
seeing
was
him
just
wrestle
a,
in leather pants was fun.
but this was just a, this Action Andretti kid is really talented.
He is. And for as young as he is, he's definitely like
Got potential.
he's got potential. He doesn't quite have the it factor yet for me, but
Fair,
he's
fair.
I mean, he's got plenty of time to get there. He's got it in him.
Right.
It's just not there yet. Um so I mean the basic idea is Andretti got away with it with a sneaky pin. Um so there
With the
we are.
same pin he beat Jericho with.
Yep. So he ends up winning, so we're going to end up getting Sam Guevara and Jericho versus Andretti and Ricky Starks, and that's this coming Dynamite. Is that right? If I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
yeah.
Um, good night overall. I'm glad we didn't get any Rampage specials. I'm glad it was just everything was something that was already kind of booked.
Yeah.
The only one that wasn't really booked was the Brian Cage Willie Mack that just kind of came up last minute.
Well,
Um,
it's like I said, like they talked about it Wednesday when they were talking about the match from Darker Elevation, whenever it was, and said they were going to have a rematch Friday. So they at least told us ahead of time. I mean, we knew Jade was going to be. I mean, this was a
yeah,
good show. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Jericho on commentary is great. Jericho and JR going back and forth is pretty entertaining.
yeah, and he kind of keeps Jr. in check. I will
He
say there
does.
was moments tonight where it almost sounded like it wasn't even Jr. there; it was Jr. sound bites because it was just like short little sentence. We haven't heard from Jr. for another 5 minutes, but
I I love JR, but I think it's time for him to hang it up. I do. I love JR. He is pro wrestling announcing to me. Like
mhm,
we did that. I think it was Who Better. Like JR is number one.
yeah,
There were some great ones, but to me, JR is pro wrestling announcing.
he is. Unfortunately,
I just feel like at this
age gets
point,
us all. Shelf life happens, and
age, stuff that's happened to him physically, his losing his wife. I just I think it's time for him to be done.
yeah, I I, I don't disagree at all. Um, it's one of those things where I hate to see him retire, but I mean You kind of got to eventually before it gets too bad. I did forget one segment that happened before the Mack and Cage match. We had Ortiz in the ring with Tony Schiavone. He was talking about how him and Kingston were having issues, but he's not the person that he needed to talk to. He needs to talk to Kingston. Kingston comes out with a chair, a little bit of back and forth on the mic, and then Kingston hits Ortiz with a chair twice and then walks out. So
This was the most literally of all the rampages I've watched. This was the most pointless segment, and that's saying something.
yeah,
Like again, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this on Rampage?
yeah. If we come back next week and Ortiz is still trying to get on Eddie's good favor, I'm going to be confused because
If
you
they
just
don't
got
have a
walked
match
with
where
a
they,
chair.
if they don't have a match where they just beat the piss out of each other, I'm going to be confused.
Yeah,
Like, this should be some clubbering.
there should be absolutely. So that closes out Rampage. There's a couple of things, just AEW wise that I wanted to bring up. The first one is there's been a little bit of talk that from Tony Khan in an interview he did that Sting is currently talking about hanging him up.
Really?
So I kind of think that plays well with what we've talked about, which is it seems like they're leading towards a Sting Darby
Yeah.
thing.
And it'll be Sting's last match.
Yeah, it'd be a
It's
nice
a good
little.
way to. I mean, of all the people that Sting has been with, this is the one that makes the most sense of a Passion of the Torch.
Yes, yeah,
100%.
makes
Because
makes
part of
perfect
what
sense.
made part of Sting's biggest initial rivalries were Mick.
Yeah,
And he does the crazy shit like Darby does. So to me, this is yes. If that's what they do, and this is Sting's gonna hang it up, and his last match is Darby,
Mhm.
it's chef's kiss. It's
yeah.
perfect. Perfect.
I would like to see it. I will say as a personal thing, I do wish we could have seen more Joker Sting. I don't know if you ever saw his stuff in Impact when he was doing that
That
stuff.
shit was so good.
Oh my god. Um, him on top of uh some lockers singing "Eye of the Stinger," just crazy weird crap.
I wish we'd have gotten a better WWE run, but to me, Sting is that is a whole show in and of itself. If he decides to hang it up,
Hmm.
like we could do an entire Sting show because
Oh,
I
absolutely.
saw some of his first matches here in Tulsa
Hmm.
when he was part of the Blade Runners
Yep.
with the Ultimate Warrior.
But dango.
But it just if he decides to hang it up, I'm perfectly fine with it. And it's time. It's time. It's kind of the JR thing. It's time.
Yeah.
He's like 60 something. And granted, he's doing better shit at 60 than Flair is.
Hmm.
But still, there comes a point that you just have to. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, especially like at this point, he's known for jumping off high things, and I love you, Steve, but good lord, you are 60
Right?
and
He's
jumping
still.
off
That's
high.
what I'm saying, though. He's doing some shit
Whew.
like he's still in his 30s. Like,
Yeah,
bro, calm down. You're making the rest of us look bad.
I'm just saying that man's gonna break a hip jumping off the Titantron or something. That's
I mean, if he's
uh,
got to go.
good lord. Um, the other thing is we got a small update. Well, I'd say small. It's pretty large update. So Jay's who recently passed away, Jay Briscoe. There was question of his daughter going into surgery. We did get some updates today that his daughter has gotten feeling back in her lower extremities. So, yay for that. Hoping that
That's
she makes
great.
a full recovery then, and
That's great news.
the
She
kids
may
end
cause
up
some
okay.
damage, but having feeling is a huge step.
Yeah. So great to hear that.
Yes.
The
Yes.
J Love kind of just keeps going.
Right. I watched Ring of Honor put a bunch of some of their matches on YouTube,
mhm,
and I watched the him Jay and Mark against Kingston and Homicide.
yeah.
Oh, that shit was so good.
Oh, I'm sure.
They beat the dog piss out of each other.
Um, we do have a match that's already booked for Dynamite as well that we can look forward to at the end of the Page match. He challenged Jungle Hook because Hook came out to kind of distract the situation um, against Page and Hardy. So we'll get to see that on Dynamite coming up. Um, Still looking forward to Dynamite. Like that, so weird that I'm looking forward to watching wrestling. So
I still am just kind of. It's weird. It feels weird still to be
mhm,
like, I'm looking forward to the next show. Like, I'm looking forward to what's next.
yep.
I'm kind of not looking forward to Monday, but we'll cover that in a minute.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
I'm looking forward to parts of Monday.
yeah.
I typed in
WWE is
Jay,
getting a little weird at the moment, and
right.
that's
I typed
scary.
in Jay's name in Twitter. Pro Wrestling Noah and New Japan had a memorial with two different people holding pictures of Jay,
Yeah, I saw
which
the
is
picture of
very
that.
cool. I haven't gone to look at any of the stuff recently, so I'm just kind of catching up. Um, I've seen some of the videos from the tribute show.
Hmm.
Shit is heart wrenching. Like the Adam Cole, hearing Adam Cole start to lose it, Christopher Daniels start to lose it, seeing Christopher Daniels lose it, Claudio getting choked up.
Yeah,
It,
it's gonna be a rough show.
yeah, it is. It's gonna be amazing,
Hmm.
but it's definitely gonna be a rough show. I I
Now,
can't wait to see it. I'm probably gonna cry, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
is it already on their thing or
I don't think so. I don't think it's out yet. There's just been, like, fan recorded videos.
okay?
I will say, since we're talking about Jay, props to the WWE for letting everybody have the armbands.
Hmm.
Michael Cole mentioning it on commentary. Chef's kiss. Like, you
Yeah,
can tell Vince is not in charge because he'd have never allowed that shit.
no.
And it
Well,
was
and especially the little bit where Cole talks about he's one half of one of the greatest tag teams in the world.
absolutely. Absolutely, because he is.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not have gotten the exposure, but I'd have taken the Briscoe. I'd have loved to have seen the Briscoes Usos. That shit would have
Hmm.
been great. Can you imagine some of the matches we would have gotten if they'd have gotten the exposure they should have gotten
Absolutely.
between
Um,
ROH, AEW, WWE? I just
Especially since like the at the time period that there was rumor and speculation that they were going to go to WWE way back when, it was the time of what was it, the hooligans were together, um Brian Kendrick and Paul London.
yes,
um that would have been fun.
that would have been so
uh
much fun.
Dudley's at the time would have been great. Hardy's at the time would have been amazing.
They had a match with the Hardys at some
They
point in
Yeah, they did.
ROH.
Yep.
But the things that we missed out on because their style wasn't what worked for people,
Yep. Which is
and I
sad
just
because I think at the time, especially during that period of Crash TV and Hardcore Title and all that, like that would have been the perfect time to bring them in.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
So the outpouring of support from just the entire wrestling community, not just financially,
Hmm.
but just in general. I'm just it's been it shows what a family, as toxic as the wrestling community can be, it still shows what a family the wrestling community is.
Hmm. It definitely does. Um, Good to see that kind of love. Normally, it's very toxic. Um, so it's good to see that. Wild Kai shows up. But it's good to see that. It's good to see how much love everybody had for him. It's good to see
Absolutely.
the wrestling community
100%.
not be assholes for just a few
100%.
days.
And the few people that said anything shitty just got shouted down.
Did they? I didn't see anybody say shit.
I haven't seen anything, but I just you know how people are,
Oh yeah.
and you know somebody said something at some point, and
How dare you bring up tea and not have any to spill?
well, I just know how wrestling fans are. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
at
I agree.
some point on someone's post, someone said something shitty,
Yeah.
and
That's my number one rule. Just be cool. Um, but that's going to go ahead and wrap us up for this episode. Thanks for spending your time with us. If you're enjoying our podcast, support us, share this episode, share our channel, hit us up on all of the lovely socials down there at the bottom.
We have really cool videos that are TikTok. Hour like
If you want to catch any of the latest from us, you can follow us right here on youtube.com at Kicking Attitude. Until next time, I'm Michael. This is Tori. That's a Wild Kai. And we'll see you on the